Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vic Chow, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Sony exhibit here at CES. Everywhere you look this year, you'll find exciting new innovations from Sony. And whether you're in our visual entertainment or music entertainment areas, or visiting our digital imaging or PlayStation displays, all of these innovations will provide you with an incredible user experience. Because, as a fully integrated company, only Sony is capable of delivering the ultimate in entertainment, the same way the creators intended. Speaking of content creation, our next session on the Sony Center stage is a really special one. It features Shameik Moore, the voice behind the character Miles Morales in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which just won a Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture Animated Film. Shameik Moore will be joined on stage by Cheryl Goodman, Head of Corporate Communication and Social Responsibility for Sony Electronics in North America, where the two of them will explore a wide range of topics, including everything from the story behind the movie's innovative animation style to its overarching message about how anyone can be a hero. They'll also discuss Shameik's passion for giving back and inspiring today's youth, as well as Sony Electronics' unique partnership with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Shameik Moore, the voice of Miles Morales from the new movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
And I'm Jake Johnson, the voice of Peter Parker.
Every kid deserves a place to feel safe, a place to feel connected, and a place to belong.
Boys and Girls Clubs encourage kids to dream big and help them achieve their goals.
Clubs enable young people to develop the skills to be successful and reach their full potential. Be a hero in your community. Volunteer at your local club and support Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Brooklyn!
Please welcome Shameik Moore and Cheryl Goodman.
Hello, yes.
All right.
How you guys doing?
These guys really want to see you. They're packing up back to back. And it's totally understandable because we are talking about the Shameik Moore, voice of Miles Morales in To the Spider-Verse. First off, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We just watched the PSA from the Boys and Girls Club promoting that everyone can be a hero.
Yeah.
As someone that leads corporate social responsibility for Sony, which is a big deal, we're a 72-year-old company, and our founders have always said alongside profit, we would give back. So it's not just lip service. You doing that for us, taking your time to support the Boys and Girls Club is a big deal. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Boys and Girls Club. So I was younger. I started singing, dancing, acting, and I was going around to high schools, middle schools, and Boys and Girls Clubs in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So I've been kind of big on inspiring kids for years, like since I was 13. I'm still a kid, but when I was 13, like, you know, I was
I heard
performing.
you're 21. 21 in Vegas.
23 in Vegas.
Oh, 23 in
That's
Vegas.
right.
Watch out, y'all.
But
But giving back. So you've always had this natural DNA to also give back, not unlike Sony. So that's cool.
my whole thing is I desire to inspire with my art. From the movie Dope, if anybody's seen the movie Dope, seen the show The Get Down. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you should go check it out. It's a great family film. And all of these projects are about like inspiring the youth and touching people and having a hand in culture and community. You know?
Yeah, because it does make a difference. At the end of the day, the community should see you can be a hero. You should be empowered. And it is a great film. Yeah, animation, we think it's a kid's film. But gosh, I was like, I don't know, I got a little teary-eyed in it. I mean, there's some moments in there, you know. One of my favorite moments we're actually referencing right there is when you're sketching out, jamming out, of course, to the Sony headset. So.
Yes. I actually got some of these Sony headphones, and they're amazing, by the way. Absolutely like, mwah. So, yes.
Someone capture that. Wow, that's good stuff. I like that desire to inspire comment too. I think there should
It's
be
real.
Yeah,
I've
that's
always said
awesome.
that. Yeah,
that
thank
is
you.
yeah, and you can see it's real,
Thank
right?
you.
Because there's nothing worse than someone that's doing it on a rote, in a rote way, and that's not Shameik Moore. That's why we really wanted him here on the stage today to talk about that. Another good pick of Miles Morales making his way. I believe it's onto school here. We can see it here and there. Oh, actually, we're going to do that one there.
Okay, yeah.
But I love this scene. Is there similarities in any way to that character when you were asked and approached to do that character? And as you were being that character, did you find similarities? Talk about that a little.
Finding the character Miles was really finding a part of myself or appreciating a lot of my own life. And for instance, his mom and dad love him very much. And my mom and dad loved me very much. I was sheltered, and you know, his dad and his mother sent him to like this private school. My mom and dad sent me to like an all-boys military school, which I didn't really like. My mom sent me to the Young Marines, which I didn't really enjoy, but I was there, and I was in Christian school.
The proud,
yes,
right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So. So I have that, and then there's also the creative soul part. He's like an artist, and he loves music. And I'm a very creative person myself. And that spider chose Miles out of however many thousands of people that live in Brooklyn to be Spider-Man. And Sony chose me out of however many thousands of people that auditioned
there, right?
You
know? Nobody's surprised by this, okay?
You know, so
yeah.
I feel like I can relate to Miles in a lot of ways.
Well, he's a lovable character, I gotta say that. And again, it's like, I don't cry at animation. If I did, I would admit it. Today, I'd admit it. Such a good story about how much the parents loved their kid, how much they invested in their kid. And I thought, the world needs to know more about this. And the Boys and Girls Club of America, who also do the same. So maybe kids that don't have that, right? And it's like anyone can be a hero regardless of your background. And I loved the message of the movie. It's bigger than really anything else that we do. And that's
anyone can wear the mask.
That's right.
Yes.
Anyone can wear the mask. But we're glad you're not wearing a mask here because we want to see that face right here, live, Miles Morales.
Yes.
The alter ego. So if you don't mind, I'd like to switch just a little bit to talk about technology. You are an entrepreneur. You are a filmmaker, I just learned.
Yes.
Obviously, you're a musician. You're an actor. Just came from the Golden Globes, I believe.
We just won a Golden Globe, by the way.
Up?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. And all of the theme here at 2019 CES for Sony is really creative entertainment in the gateway devices of consumer devices, right? It doesn't happen without hardware. You love audio, I understand, and maybe you could talk about this a little bit, how you grew up around music, audio, music studios, and your passions there.
So my dad builds recording studios, so as far back as I can remember, he's been building professional recording studios in Atlanta, and he plays instruments, ATL. He plays instruments, and I basically learned about music through my dad and who he really is and his interaction with his friends, just picking up the bass, the guitar, the drums, the piano, and them just making music on spot and them singing, and it just being about the culture and a vibe in my household, you know what I mean?
That's cool.
And I came up watching that, and my mom will tell the story, until I was 12, I never showed interest in anything creative. I was, you know, when I saw the movie You Got Served, everything changed, and yeah, that's my story. You know?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So in those experiences, you probably grew up around a lot of Sony equipment, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
for certain.
Yeah. So today here at the show, we're talking about 360 reality audio. It's a new format. I believe you just got a demo. You were able to experience that. Well, first reaction. We know Pharrell loves it, just by the way, because he was on stage 2 days ago talking about that.
Okay.
What is your reaction? What do you think?
I mean, all right. So they put in these ear plugs, right? And then they put in headphones over them. And then, but before then, they had like maybe 5 speakers, like how you guys see these things.
Yeah, right.
And then they had 2 like subwoofers, and then they had another set of speakers around us. And there's like 5 people in the room, so we're sitting down, and they're playing music, so we're listening to it, and it's like, okay, yeah, this sounds good. It just sounds really clear. But when they put on the headphones, it sounded the exact same. You know, when you put on headphones, it's like this is a great plug for Sony, by the way. There's FYI. But this is so real. Like, they put on headphones. Well, I put on the headphones, and it sounded like I was listening to a bunch of speakers around me, like this surround sound. It wasn't like a headphone experience, is what I'm saying. It was like I was outside and like music is blasting. And that changes the experience of listening to your. Imagine listening to Thriller like that, or like. Right. Like, that's gonna sound so different. I'm telling you, it's gonna sound so different in some headphones now, like for real. So.
No, and you know, when I first demoed it in Tokyo, it was from being in the audience to being in the band. You know, it was like being on the stage, like directional hearing. So we're glad you enjoyed that.
I mean, I asked immediately to get a system set up in my living room. We'll see if that happens.
We're working on it. I know some people. I know some of them are right out there.
Right.
And you're going to help them out. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, we're connected. We can do this.
All right.
So let's shift gears just a little bit onto back to Spider-Man. But again, I understand that you are yourself a filmmaker.
Uh-huh.
So
working on it.
Working on it, and you have an affinity for creation. You're a creator. Yes. Talk about that a little bit. This is very cool stuff.
Thank you. So this upcoming year, I know everybody knows me as an actor, mostly. But I have music coming out, and I've been shooting music videos for myself. I shot 2 of them, and I'm shooting 2 more before I start filming in Canada. And I'm very excited to release them. And I'm excited to start shooting music videos for a couple of my friends. I have my eyes on a few, like Ty Dolla $ign, I don't know if anybody knows him, or Kehlani, but anyway, I intend to make some really dope music videos 2019, and that's the start, because eventually I'm gonna be making movies, like big time films. I've already written out a lot of my ideas, and I've really just been building connections. I've been able, for instance, The Get Down was supposed to be a 6-month TV shoot. I don't know if anybody saw it, but on Netflix.
Raise your hand if you saw The Get Down.
Check it out.
Live audience, no need to do that.
Okay,
all right,
cool.
So there's a lot of people that really know what you're talking about, and they're digging it.
Okay.
So let's dig into that.
So basically, Baz Luhrmann, who directed Romeo and Juliet, Moulin Rouge, and so many other amazing projects, directed this show. And I was only supposed to be shooting for 6 months. We ended up shooting for 2 years. And I was asking a whole bunch of questions like, why is this camera pointing towards me right here? What exactly are you trying to get? Are you going to zoom in? Are you using this much of my face? When you move right here and the lights get a little brighter, is that for a reason? You know, I'm asking these type of questions for 2 years though. And I know a lot of kids pay a lot of money to go to college for half of that type of information, right. You know. So I intend to showcase exactly what I've learned, and I've impressed quite a few people behind the scenes. I can't wait to impress people, you know.
Oh, you're already impressed. I mean, we did the Golden Globes.
Thank you. Oh yeah, the Golden Globes.
All right,
you know,
we go over that.
But as a director, there's a lot coming. As a creator, there's a lot coming. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So the hardware, the utility to do that, you know, we talked backstage.
Sony's hooking me up with some camera gear.
The A7. In order to fulfill your dreams, there, you know, there's more equipment. We talked about lenses as well.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, definitely Sony is that equipment provider for these creative entertainers.
Yeah.
What our CEO talked about, Kenichiro Yoshida, is that we are a creative entertainment company with a lot of killer hardware. All this hardware out here today is the great stuff of which you're going to be able to see this guy. Now I want to know how many of you out there, and those on the cameras need not respond, have actually seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Yes. Okay. Very, very good.
Amen.
Amen. Because tell us a little bit about when you were working on that. How long did it take? Because you did the voiceover as the main
2 years.
2 years.
2 years to do the voice of Miles Morales for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And actually, we finished about 2 weeks before the movie came out. So.
Right, yeah. I remember when we were getting you to do the PSA. I know
right.
folks were like, "All right, you guys are asking for a lot." So we're grateful because we know it was a stressful time.
I mean, I wasn't stressed. I've been doing this for 2 years at the time. No one. I don't care how much they ask me to do a voice or how we want you to re-record this. Look, I'm Miles Morales, and as soon as you see this movie, you understand why I will never complain for this opportunity or what it takes to continue to be involved with anything like this.
Yeah.
So.
One thing that I loved about the movie as well, and I'm just changing to a different scene, is Gwen Stacy.
Oh, yes. Shout out to Haley Steinfeld, by the way.
Yeah. I loved her. I thought that was a good way. I like that you cut her hair by accident when you're in there. You got the whatever
right.
little spider
You have the same color hair.
I was trying to do a little. I'm not going to cut it, but right. I love that scene. I thought it was really funny.
Thank you.
And then you're empowering, like anyone can wear the mask.
Yeah.
Anyone could be the hero. And I thought I did it really, really well. So maybe talk a little bit about all the different faces and places that were represented in the Spider-Verse, and maybe what that means to you.
Well, I mean, I play Miles Morales, who's Afro-Latino. He's black and Puerto Rican. I think that is historical right there, first biracial superhero. But then on top of that, like you pointed out, Haley Steinfeld plays Gwen Stacy, and Jake Johnson plays Peter B. Parker. And he always talked about, I like stealing his answers in press, by the way, but he always talks about he has 2 twin daughters, and his twin daughters would be like, hey, we want to be Spider-Man girl for Halloween.
Spider-Man girl.
Exactly, and he would be like, no, it's not a Spider-Man girl, but now they can just be Gwen Stacy. You get me?
Which is awesome.
It's monumental, it's big,
Yeah.
it's not, and the great thing about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, though we do highlight Miles Morales, who is Afro-Latino, it's not like we changed who Spider-Man is. There's still Peter Parker from Queens involved in this Spider-Man. We didn't go and take a superhero and change the whole culture and who he is. We're adding to a story, and it's touching because it's the world we see today. I mean, look up. I mean, we have different people that we see around us, and that's what this whole movie is showcasing. We have a Miles Morales. We have a Peter B. Parker. It's Peter Parker, but at 40, when he loses his wife, and it's a lot going on. So he's like heavy. He's heavier, and
the suit didn't look as good. I mean, he was just kind of like.
But he still helped save the world because he's Peter Parker. So if you love Peter Parker, he's still there. We didn't just take his story. And if you're interested in some new stories, you got Miles Morales and you got Gwen Stacy. Not to mention Penny.
Right. That was so cool. Penny with the robot.
Yeah.
Right. Talk about Penny a little bit, just for those who haven't experienced Penny as the character.
Well, she's from a future universe, and she gets thrown into our universe as well. And she's kind of like, her and Gwen are pretty much like, they're the strength. They're already good at what they're doing, and she's really smart. Long story short, so I break the goober as Miles Morales. I don't want to ruin the story, but I'm given something to save the universe, and I break it. And Penny is the one that really puts it back together for us. And
she's a tech chick,
she's
right?
a tech chick.
And
she holds it down.
This tech show, it's a big theme here, is
right.
women in technology and represented in film. And so, again, another heartfelt win for Sony and for that creative production, that you can authentically say every voice matters in creative output. And where there is someone who is suppressed or not included, we all lose, right?
Right, yeah.
And that's in business too. The return on investment for public companies that actually support diversity and inclusion are more profitable.
Yeah.
So it's just there's no downside to this film, right?
Everybody's represented, and if you love the original story, you don't lose anything from it. If anything, you feel like you're watching the whole thing. You know what I mean? Oh, this is how it turns out. And I think that alone makes it special. It's not alienating anyone. Everyone's represented. Anyone can wear the mask. It could be you, it could be you, it could be you, or it could be your son or daughter, And
you know what I think the cool thing too is the final outcome was something that was so phenomenally, so well done.
Yeah.
To reinforce that crowdsourcing of all intelligence makes a great product, whether that's creative or hardware, or Penny with her robot sphere, or So we didn't talk about Noir. Let's see, Noir, and then there was the
Spider
pig.
Noir and Spider Ham.
Yeah, Spider Ham. Okay, when I first saw that, I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna work that.
They pulled it. they pulled it off.
They absolutely did that.
Jake likes to say, again, I like stealing his answers.
All right.
Jake likes to say, Miles isn't wild. Miles it's just time for a Miles Morales Spider-Man. He was like, Gwen Stacy, that's not wild. I have daughters,
Yeah.
It's just they need somebody, other than Mary Jane to look up to in the Spider-Man movie. Instead of it always being like, oh yeah, we love the web slinger. Now it's like, I'm the web slinger too,
Yeah.
With Spider Noir, everything's black and white, and the wind follows him wherever he goes, even in the basement, you know. And Spider-Ham, that's the wildest thing about this whole thing.
Right.
There's a pig that can speak, and it makes sense.
And he's funny.
And he's funny.
And I'm like, all right.
You know, shout out to John Mulaney for killing that bro.
I know.
Woo! Yeah. I feel so. And Nick Cage is the one who plays Spider Noir. If there's any Nick Cage fans in the building, but I feel so honored to be involved with a great cast, with experienced actors, working with Sony on what has to be a high-level project for Sony, because y'all did a great job promoting this movie, I feel.
Yeah.
And the animation looks beautiful. So everything it took to make this movie, I mean, I've never been involved with anything on this level, so I can't wait to see where my career goes and how I can apply what I've learned from working with Chris and Phil and Jake Johnson and everybody else involved.
Yeah, well, we, in all of this work and all this hard stuff, your true heart is seen in this just by the way that you've participated in the Boys and Girls Club. When you go see the movie, you'll see the PSA that you saw earlier if you had seen that. That's so important, is that authentic, it's the real Shameik Moore, and I think if that doesn't ensure you for a good career because it's the right thing to do, I don't know what does. And then on top of that, you're super talented, and someone just told me before we close it out that you dance. Like,
oh yeah.
Would you?
Oh yeah.
Would you do a little dance? I don't know if you need music.
Would I do a little dance?
Yeah,
well, we don't have any music, but it would be nice if the crowd can just clap with me. Okay. Okay. Oh. 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 Oh, oh, okay. It's a little something.
Yeah. Okay. I would say after that, there's nothing more we can do. We have done it all. You are awesome. Thank you for your time,
Thank you.
your talent,
Thank
and for
you.
giving back. And this is closing out this brief, fun segment with Shameik Moore here at CES Live 2019. Thank you.